So students, in this lecture, we are going to discuss the mode of action or the mechanism of the penicillins. Before this, you must know that the penicillins consist of a beta-lactam ring. This is the structure of the beta-lactam ring. And this is the combined structure that is in the penicillin, including the beta-lactam ring. And this whole structure is actually the 6-amino penicillinic acid, that is 6-APA. Now, the penicillins basically differ from one another because of the R group, which is at this side, that is on the 6-amino penicillinic acid. So there are different type of penicillins because of the difference in this R group. Now, where the hydrolysis of this penicillin will take place, it is between this carboxyl group and the nitrogen group. And this is a site of hydrolysis by the bacterial penicillinases or by the acids. Now, what are the common penicillins which are available in the market? These are amoxicillin, ampicillin, dicloxacillin, nafcillin, oxacillin, penicillin G, benzathine, and penicillin G, procaine. Then we have the penicillin V. Now, coming towards the mode of action of this penicillin. The penicillin basically interfere with the last step of the bacterial cell wall synthesis, that is transpeptidation or the cross linkage. We will discuss this in detail, but before this, just I'm giving you a brief introduction of the penicillin mode of action. First is the inhibition of the step transpeptidation. Second one is the cell lysis, and cell lysis is by two mechanisms: by the autolysis and by the osmotic pressure generation within the bacteria itself. Now, coming towards the detail of the mode of action. Before discussing the detail of the mode of action of the penicillins, you must know that what is peptidoglycan, because first we will discuss peptidoglycan. We will study the glycan units, what is transpeptidation. After this, we will again move towards the mode of action of the penicillins. Now, peptidoglycans. Peptidoglycans, as you have already studied in your biochemistry subject, that these are the murines. So another name of peptidoglycans is murine. This is basically a polymer that consists of the sugars and the amino acids. So until now, we have discussed that peptidoglycans, also known as murines, is basically a polymer consisting of the sugars and the amino acids, and these together will form a layer. They will form together a mesh-like outer layer or the cell membrane, which will be damaged by the drug, that is by the penicillin. So the sugar component which is present in this membrane are the alternative units. These alternative units are represented by two colors, green and the red one. This green color is basically the N-acetyl glucosamine, and this red color is actually the N-acetyl muramic acid. Now, these two sugar components are present in this structure, and these are in structure related to that of the glucose, and both of these are connected to one another by a covalent bond, and this is together, these together are forming a chain that is actually the glycan chain. Now, formation of this glycan chain is represented by a name of the process, which I will discuss later on. And now this is one chain. This is another chain. This is the third chain. These are the glycan chains. Now you can see that these chains are interconnected to one another, and these are actually connected to one another with the help of the amino acids. So these both units, or these all the chains, are attached to one another by the help of the amino acids. Now, basically, these amino acids are attached, as you can see in the figure, by this green unit. And you know that this green unit is the N-acetyl muramic acid, as it is represented here in this picture. Now, this N-acetyl muramic acid is a unit that contains 3 to 5 amino acids. From 3 to 5 amino acids. This figure is representing 4 amino acids, but it can contain 3 to 5 amino acids. And this amino acid will basically help us in connecting these two glycan chains. You can see this is an amino acid chain. This is another amino acid chain. Both these chains of the different glycan chains are connected to one another by a third amino acid chain that is represented in the red color. Now, the peptide chains can be, now when you cross link, when we join these two chains, then these are the peptide chains. So these peptide chains together will form the peptidoglycan unit or the membrane. So this is the picture which is representing that we have the sugar molecules, we have the amino acids, both are interconnected or linked to one another. Now, what PBP, penicillin binding protein, are doing here? Penicillin binding proteins are of different types, but what they are commonly doing, they are catalyzing the polymerization of the glycan strand, that is linking of the glycan units. These glycan units, first thing, they are joining these units. Secondly, they are doing the transpeptidation, that is the cross-linking between these glycan chains. So within the chain and between the chain, the linkage is maintained by the penicillin binding proteins. And now what the penicillin drug is doing here, this is actually inhibiting this penicillin binding protein. So this was the first mode of action where I discussed that they will inhibit the last step of the cell wall synthesis. Actually, what the penicillin is doing here, this is inhibiting the transglycosylation and the transpeptidation. Transglycosylation is the polymerization of the glycan strands, and transpeptidation is the cross-linking between these glycan chains. So these both steps, or these steps of cell wall synthesis these both steps of cell wall synthesis are inhibited by the penicillins and the cephalosporins, or all the cell wall synthesis inhibitors. Okay. Now the next is the production of autolysis. You know, already your bacteria are continuously producing the autolysis that is required for the normal remodeling of the bacterial cell. That is requirement of the bacterial cell in order to replace their older structures. So what is happening in case of the penicillin? We know that penicillin is degrading your bacterial cell wall first. Secondly, even though cell wall is not forming, in addition, what is happening, there is reproduction, there is production of autolysins. Autolysins are producing their effect. Now in that case, there is no competition available to the autolysins because there is no formation of the cell wall. Autolysins are doing here what? They are actually breaking the cell wall. So now you can say that these penicillins are indirectly enhancing the effect of these autolysis, and this is definitely a beneficial step for us to combat or to fight against the bacteria. So second step is the enhancement or to provide facilitation to the autolysis for the destruction of the bacteria. Now the third, osmotic pressure. Third point was osmotic pressure. You know already the bacteria or the cells, our cells already have the osmotic pressure. Now there is already an osmotic pressure within the cell. Now your bacteria don't have any cell wall, there is no formation of the cell walls, your autolysins are working at their peak. Now what this osmotic pressure will do, they will also result in the lysis of the bacteria. As a result, there will be the bacterial death. So these are the steps, these are the three processes which are being performed by the penicillins to combat or fight against the bacterial infection. The first one was the inhibition of cell wall synthesis between the glycan unit within the glycan unit, between the glycan chain. There was no formation of any linkage by these penicillin. Second step was that they are enhancing the effect of the autolysins, and the third is that the osmotic pressure which has already been generated within the cell is disrupting the bacterial cell.